So, hello everyone, myself Faith, and today we will be solving Codechef Starters 236, Div 3 question B. So, let us just read this question. So, basically, we have given an one index array P of length M, and it is called a palindrome if P of I equals to P of M plus 1 minus I. So, let me just first tell you what is a palindrome. So, let us take one example. Let's say 1 to 1. So, an array is called a palindrome if we reverse this array and we are able to find the exact same, like we are able to find the array exact same as the original one. For an example, if we reverse this all the elements, then this one would be here, this two would be here, and this one would be here. Okay. So see, this array and this array is exactly same. So this is known as a palindrome. Let us take one more example. 1, 2, 3. So let us just reverse this array. So 3 would come at the first position, 2 would be here, and 1 would be here. See, this is not equals to this. Like the original array is not equals to the reversed one. So this is not called a palindrome. Not a palindrome. Okay. So now we are told that Chief loves palindromes and Chief also loves the number k. And so Chief has with him an array of length m and he can repeatedly modify an array as follows. So he can insert an occurrence of k anywhere into the array. So now we have to tell whether it is possible for Chief to perform the modification several times so that the resulting array is a palindrome or not. So what this question says is Chief has a number k, let's say 2 for like for now. Now he can insert it anywhere into the array. And like let's say if we have 1, 2, 2, okay, just a second. 1, 1, 2. Okay. So now we are told that we can use this k that is 2 and insert it anywhere into the array. So like where would we add the 2 to make this array a palindrome? At the first position, right? So, because see, if we reverse this whole array, then we will get something like 2, 1, 1, 2. So, this is equals to the original one. So, this is known as a palindrome. Okay. So, we have to try to add a occurrence of k in such a way that we are able to make the array as a palindrome. Okay. So, let us see some examples. Let us take this last example. Okay. We have given k equals to 4. Okay. And we have given elements of an array as 1, 4, 2, 1, 4. Okay. So see, the first element is not equal to the last element. Okay. But we have given k and we can insert it anywhere into the array. So what I would do is I would add it at the beginning of an array. So I would add 4 here. So now let us see. See, the last element is 4. The first element is also 4. Okay. Now let us move ahead. This last second and this is equal. See, this and this is not equal. Okay. So what we can do is we can add this 4 here, right here. Okay. At this position. So now let us see this. This is equals to this. This is equals to this. This 4 also became equal to this 4. And like 2 itself is equals to 2. So this is known as a palindrome because if we reverse now, like if we now reverse this array, then we will get something like 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 4. So this is equals to the original one. So this is known as a palindrome. Okay. So we have to insert occurrence of key in such a way that we are able to find this palindrome. And if we are able to make this as a palindrome, then we will output it as yes. And if we add a k, still we are not able to find any palindrome, then we will answer it as no. Okay. So now let us try to form some conclusion over this problem. So what we can do is, let's say, let us take this example only again. 1, 4, 2, 1, 4. Okay. So now what we could do is we will use the two pointer approach. Okay. So what does two pointer approach means? We will take one pointer at the starting index. So let us take low equals to 0 and high equals to at the end, last element. So it would be n minus 1. So one pointer would be right here, one pointer would be right here. Okay. Now we will check whether uh, let's say temp is the array, temp of low equals to temp of high. Okay, so let me just write it. So if both the elements are equal, so let's say if instead of 4 here it was 1. Okay, so these both elements are equal. Then what we can do is we can increment this low pointer and we can decrement this high pointer. So what it would what would happen is low would be plus plus and high would be minus minus. So low will move to the next index and high would may move to the previous index, this one. Okay. So it will again check the it would do again the same process. Okay. Now what if the element at the low index and at the high index are not equal? See, here it is 4, here it is 1. Then what would we do? So what we can do is we can check whether the low element at the low index is equals to k or not. Because if this element is equals to k, which is here it is equals to 4. So these both are elements are equal. So what we can do is we can decrement this we can increment this high. Let me just rewrite it. 1 4 2 1 1. Okay. So here both the elements are equal, then we can increment this low and decrement this high pointer. So we would get something like this. Let me just write it, this and this. Now this low pointer is not equals to the high pointer, but this low pointer is equals to k, which is equals to 4. So what we can do is we will increment this low pointer. Why? Because we will assume that we have added 4 right here at this position. Okay, right here we have already added. We will assume that we won't change the original array, but we will assume that we have added 4 where it was required. So here now, if we retrace it, then this 1 is equals to 1. This 4 is again is equals to 4. So this low pointer has moved and this high pointer would be stay at its own position. Okay. And if the same thing have happened, let's say if the array is something like this, let me just rewrite it. Uh, if the array was something like this, okay. So here the low pointer is not equals to the high pointer and it is also not equals to the occurrence of k. Then we will check whether the high pointer is equals to the occurrence of k. So here the high pointer is equals to occurrence of k. Okay. So what we can do is we can again decrement the high pointer. Why? Because we will assume, we will again assume that we have added 4 right here. Okay. So this and this element would again be equal. So we will assume that we have already added 4 here and we will decrement this high pointer. Okay, decrement this high pointer. Now let us move ahead. So this low pointer element at the low pointer index and element at the high pointer index are not equal, and this both the elements are also not equal to k. If something like this happens, then we won't be able to change or we won't be able to add the occurrence of k in such a way that we can form this as a palindrome. It would never be able to form this as a palindrome. So if something like this happens, then we will break out of the loop and we will directly write that the answer is no. Okay. And if we are not able to break out from this loop and we are able to completely trace through this loop, then we will answer it as yes. So let us just see the code of this problem. So let me just show you the code. See, firstly, I have just a second. Okay. So see, firstly I take the input from the user, and after that I have added two added a low index and a high index. Low equals to 0 and high equals to n minus 1. And I have also initialized the variable flag named as flag and it is initially equals to 0. Now I have iterated through the entire array, and if the element at the lower index is equals to element in the higher index, then we would increment the lower index and decrement the higher index. And if this is not possible, then which means that these both the elements are not equal, then we will move to the else if condition. Okay. Then here, if the low index is equals to k, then we have assumed that an element would be added before the high position, and we have incremented the low position. Similarly, if the temp of high equals to k, then we have decremented this high position. And if all the three conditions are not met, which means there are some element we cannot rearrange it in such a way that we can form a palindrome. So we will make flag equals to 1 and we will break out of this loop. So after that, if flag equals to 1, which basically means that we cannot insert an occurrence of k in such a way that we can form that array as a palindrome. So if flag equals to 1, then we will answer it as no, and else we will answer it as yes. So this was the code of this problem. Let us just run it. See. Yes, yes, no, yes. And let us just submit this problem. See, it got accepted. So this was the question 2 of Codechef status 236. Thank you.